And a pleasant hello, everybody, from Riverside Park in Oakmont. Welcome to Comcast Cablevision's high school football coverage of this afternoon's game between the Leechburg Blue Devils and the Riverview Raiders. Bob Tattert along with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik in a game here that has the undefeated Raiders overall at 9-0 battling Leechburg on the season at 4-5, but more important in conference play. They are 4-2 and the Raiders at 6-0. If Leechburg wins today and Duquesne defeats Clarendon, then somehow the Blue Devils will qualify for the Class A playoff show, and that's one thing everybody's got on their mind. They want to make postseason play.
Well, you know, that's a good way to culminate a season, Bob, to get into the playoffs. It really doesn't matter if you're doing it, you know, as a team that might go all the way or just one that's along for the ride. But that's, I guess, the prize at the end of the year. And Leechburg is going to come in here, Bob, with all the publicity that Riverview has been getting. Leechburg, a heavy underdog, is going to come in. They've got nothing to lose, so they'll just let it all hang out. And if they win it, as you mentioned, there's an outside chance they could get into the playoffs.
The Comcast High School Football pregame show is brought to you by True Value Hardware. True Value is the official hardware store of the NFL, and help is just around the corner at your local thrift True Value Hardware store. Well, there's one thing that the Riverview Raiders have had to battle all season long, and that's been the injury bug. First of all, you take a look at their top runner in a fellow that everybody thought would absolutely be, you know, the guy to watch all season long, and had he stayed healthy, he certainly would have. And that's the gentleman that everybody was hoping would perhaps eclipse that, what was it, 1,900 yards?
Oh, could have reached the 4,000-yard mark as well.
Steve Daper, but Daper injured early in the campaign, and a few weeks ago, Gilbert went down with a dislocated shoulder. Now, Zanella, who was hurt last week in the Greensburg game, is out today, and Sam Glover is going to be taking his slot. So it's been a juggling match here for Jay Kappa to some degree in 1995.
Could be that Coach Kappa might take an advanced course in medicine, the way he keeps these guys in uniform.
You're not going to give him the Nobel Prize for medicine,
no? Not yet. He's doing a good job on his own getting prizes.
You know, you got to give Leechburg credit. Here's a high school, Joe, that nobody will merge with, okay? So they've got to go with what flows in the district. The lowest possible number of boys eligible to play football, and they seem to field a good team every year. Decent team.
Could be the other way around. Maybe they don't want anybody to merge with.
Well, who knows? Anyway, the Riverview Raiders in their home black uniforms are being announced here to the home spectators. And again, Bob Tattert with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik will be back to continue with the pregame show right after this. Well, the Riverview Raiders, by virtue of the victory last week at Greensburg Central Catholic, won the conference title, the Eastern A, and will have home field advantage in the playoffs that begin next week. And Comcast Cable, very happy to announce that we're part of the coverage for next weekend right here at Riverside Park.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Bob. You know, it's become a wonderful, wonderful habit each and every year to be able to pick up a team or two in our coverage area going into the playoffs this year. Again, fortunate enough to carry two teams. Next Friday night, it'll be Burl against an unnamed opponent at this point in time. And then also the Raiders will play next Saturday afternoon. And yet to be determined is their opponent.
Joe, both of these football teams run more than they pass, and Leechburg senior tailback Jeremy Oliver leads all the Valley rushers with total attempts and yards, 189 attempts, 1,024 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he averages 5.4 per carry. When Riverview has to throw the football, they've got some great targets. Perhaps Ertlejack is the speedster on the team that can go deep and be the big threat. But Riverview can throw and run as well, but both of these teams run more than they throw.
Last night, Bob, the game that we did with the Burl Bucks against Apollo, it was good for Burl that they were able to do both, because Apollo Ridge really stymied their running game. But the fact that they were able to throw the football and And Horwath just did a number on them passing and made the big difference.
The Comcast High School Football pregame show has been brought to you by True Value Hardware. True Value is the official hardware store of the NFL, and True Test is the official paint supplier to the NFL. Thrift True Value, where help is just around the corner. Well, they're out there for the toss of the coin, Joe. Co-captains for the Raiders include Justin Papa, along with Theo Qtrs. I was playing catch, I think, with his either younger brother or cousin, and Zach Zrimsik here, number 6.
Some familiar names from last year, and there's Daper out there, Bob, with crutches and all.
By the way, Leechburg has won the toss, and they will receive.
It's amazing. He moves better on crutches than most people do on their own 2 feet.
Let's take a look at starting lineups, brought to you by John's Auto Sales of Natrona Heights. First of all, for the visiting Leechburg Blue Devils, the interior line will include Justin Stewart, Tim Andrasey, or that's Andrasey, Mike Galucci, Jesse Barber, Alex McKim, and the tight end is Ed Paul. The quarterback is Bob Osk, and he says this is a team he'd love to beat. The running backs, Jeremy Oliver, the Valley's leading rusher, Pete Pinto, and the wideouts are Scott Steele and Jonathan Soleil. And for the Raiders in the line, Khalil Ciora, Theo Qtrs, Sam Glover will be at center. Rich Walsh, Justin Papa, and Mark Bonarotti is the tight end. In the backfield, Orlando Belisario is the quarterback, Damian Heekins, Fritz Tamburo, and Fran Schulo are the running backs, and Ben Erdeljak is the wideout. And of course, at John's Auto Sales, in business now for the last 18 years, they are indeed a tough bunch to beat. Round-trip messenger service is available to Harrisburg, and you'll always find a good selection of thoroughly reconditioned used cars and trucks. John's Auto Sales at Old Route 28 in Natrona Heights. Check out the price, the warranty, and the service. John's Auto Sales, Old Route 28 in Natrona Heights. All right, Joe, the officials for today?
Okay, and the officials for today's game, the referee, Larry Sukitz. The umpire is Dave Hilliard. Head linesman Ron Dixon, the line judge Fred Zangaro, and the back judge Joe DiGiorno.
And Leechburg will have back for them. Frank Evans is number 32. Let's see who else is down there. Jeremy Oliver, 33. Short kick, taken at about the 27-yard line. The return by Jonathan Sawyer. And he's up to about the 37 or 38-yard line. And for the Raiders, number 30, Matt Geppert, along with Sam Glover, combine on the tackle. And we're underway. Leechburg's football, 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line. Glad you could join us here at Riverside Park. For sure now, all the leaves have turned color, and very scenic down here at Riverside Park. Full house eye for quarterback Osk. Hands off to the tailback, and he'll pick up about 4 hard-fought yards to the 41-yard line. That's Jeremy Oliver, and he'll get the bulk of the running chores today. Zach Zrimsik at the bottom of the pile, and also there was Justin Dujak. So a gain of 3 on that play. We'll call it 3, and 2nd and 7 coming up. Leechburg has just run the first play of the game following the opening kickoff and a short return. And again, the same formation. Now they shift. Osk pitches to Oliver, sweeping wide, and Dujak brings him down for a loss on the play. Dujak wrapped him up real quick back near the original line of scrimmage on a sweep to the left side. So they will lose the 3 yards they picked up. It'll be now 3rd and 10.
Boy, he really made a play there, Bob. I mean, the interference meant nothing. He just pushed the blocker out of the way and made the stop.
Could we very quickly take a look at quarterback statistics before they set up here at the line? And again, I don't know that we can, but you'll find that when we do get a chance to expose the numbers, they don't throw much. Osk on 3rd and long, and the backfield, I believe, moved for Leechburg.
Started a little quick.
That could have been Pinto in the backfield that moved, and that'll put him back another 5. Let's take one more look at those quarterback stats if we can. The Raiders, Belisario has completed 30 out of 54. Osk has thrown twice as much, but he's completed about the same amount and for less yardage. So if those statistics are true, Osk will throw about 10 times a game. 3rd and 15. And Osk looks to throw. He fires. It is caught by Ed Paul. Paul up to about the 40. Dujak was up there along with Justin Papa and Rich Walsh. So the advances to the 40-yard line. They pick up about 8 yards on that pass play. Now 4th and 7.
Jack will hit him first.
Slows him up. Also there was Shulo, Fran Shulo. 4th and 7, and back to punt is Bob Osk, or I was going to say Rob, but it is Bob Osk. Jack is back along with Fritz Tamburro. High snap from center. Osk is able to control it. It's a short kick, not high. It takes a Leechburg roll all the way down to about the 31-yard line, and the Raiders will put it in play. High school football will continue in a moment on Comcast Cable. Back at Riverside Park, the Raiders, after the punt, have it at their own 31-yard line. No score in the game. And the give goes to the tailback, and that is Fran Shulo. Shulo off the right side, short yardage. And the left side of the Leechburg line is there to make the play. Mike Gallucci was one of those at the bottom of the pile. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. And there you see the culmination of the play. Shulo and Tamburro will alternate plays from the bench for Coach Jake Kappa, who has, as Joe had indicated at the beginning, pretty well doctored this team through 9 wins on the campaign without a loss. And here is a give to Fritz Tamburro, coming around the side, is up near midfield and run out of bounds on a fine play by Oliver. So Oliver does the job, and it's up to about the 49-yard line. It's a first down for the Raiders, and the first down of the game. Good solid blocking. 49-yard line is the spot of the football. Orlando Belisario, the quarterback. The team is in the eye with the ends in tight. Shot of Ed Paul defensively there for the Blue Devils. Here's a give to Heekins. Loose football near the line of scrimmage, and they're unpiling here to see who has recovered. In all probability,
I think Belisario fell on it, Bob.
Belisario recovers the loose ball. Watch as it gets away from him here in the handoff to Heekins. And the guy that probably forced that play was Pete Pinto, number 11, for the Blue Devils. 2nd down. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Split wide here to the left side. Mark Bonarotti. And shifting over now is Jack. Here is a give to Tamburro.
Good move.
Side steps around, and he's inside the 35, down to about the 32 or 33-yard line. Finally, there was Bill Doherty to make the tackle. It's spotted at the 33-yard line. Also there was Everett LeSueur. And another first down for the Raiders, as you see the hole opening up for Tamburro.
He made some good moves there, Bob.
So 1st down and 10, and it goes to Heekins.
He fumbles,
but it bounced right back up into his tummy, and he was pounced upon by Justin Stewart. Short gain on the play, up to the 30, but they pick up 3 yards on the play. Ed Paul was there for the tackle. Jake Kappa wondering, you know, what's going on here. Heekins.
Well, Heekins had that little thing wrapped around him that they use from time to time to keep their hands warm. They just flip it around their waist. He had it behind him, and he thought maybe that might have caused that fumble, so he took it off.
Gain of, let's call it 2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders at the Leechburg 30. Looking to
he's
throw
got a man
with
the
open.
open.
Bonarati dives for the football, and it's incomplete. Mark, make that Scott Steele defensively down there for Leechburg. Watch the replays. Bonarati, I think, even tripped on the play. Good blocking here, and letting it go is Belisario. Fires downfield, and no, he was not tripped. Still at the 30, 3rd down and 8.
Look out for Ertlejack.
Oh, here we go. Fly pattern. It looked like backfield in motion. And here is a give to Fritz Tamburo.
And he might go all the way.
Tamburo's down to the 10
bring it back.
and brought down out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, but it's all for naught.
Yeah, too much. In fact, a couple of people moved for Burrow. They're going to bring, or I should say for Riverview, they're going to bring it back.
Well, there were actually, if you watch the replay, probably 2 players that moved ahead of the snap. Not 1, but 2. So the penalty will now make it 3rd and 13. It'll bring it back to the 35. The ball at the 20-yard hash mark from the near side. So there's running room to the left, and the Raiders have been in worse situations than this, that's for sure. First quarter with no score. Bob Tattern, Joe Falsetti, Mike Pavlik greeting you from Riverside Park in Oakmont. Bonarati wide to the left side here. In fact, he's like the old Army lonesome end. Strong side to the right, and here is Belisario being chased and sacked in the backfield by Everett LeSueur. And LeSueur makes the play back at the 46, and he is a speedy youngster. Watch him coming through. He fights off the block by Zrimsik, now comes through. Zrimsik had him for a while, but he was hog-tied and almost bull-roped.
If that was Kevin Lloyd that made that tackle, they'd have hit him to a $12,000 fine.
So now it's 4th and about 20-something.
They got to get to Verona for the first down,
right? At the intersection. So the punt by Belisario is away, high, down to about the 14-yard line, and they're there quick. The ball taken by Bill Doherty. Doherty with no return yardage on that play. And very quickly down there, Theo Ficaris along with Fritz Tamburo taking another look at it. And he was just kind of frozen. Boom, boom, boom. They're all there. Also Fritz Tamburo, as you saw in the picture. And it's marked at the 14-yard line. Under 5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter without a score here at the home of the Raiders. Nice crowd for this one. Here's a give to Oliver. Oliver trying the left side. Breaks through. Look at this, Oliver.
This is
at the 35, 40. At the 50. I don't think they're going to catch up with him.
No, he's gone. I mean gone.
Touchdown for Oliver, and he ran the football 86 yards.
They had him, but he got away, and I'll tell you what, that's what happens when you don't get a quick whistle.
So Leechburg scores first. And watch it again. It seems like he stopped here. There's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, and he just kept his balance and took off.
But you have to give the officials credit there, Bob, because they didn't blow the whistle. Many times you get that quick whistle, which, you know, stops the play. Not so there.
The extra point attempt And the kick by Mike Reed is through the. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag, and if there's a penalty against the Raiders, it'll be on the kickoff. So we have a break in the action, folks. It's a 7-0 Leechburg lead at this point. We'll be back to continue in just a moment. 7-0 Leechburg in the lead here at Riverside Park at Oakmont. Bob Tatter, Joe Falsetti, and Mike Pavlik. By the way, at halftime, Joe will be talking with Kristen Braun, who has already notified Comcast Cable she wants one of the two positions up here in the booth. Now, Kristen is the Riverview sports commentator. She's only a sophomore in school.
She does a heck of a job.
Here's Mike Reed with the boot, and this one is taken inside the 5-yard line by Tamburo.
No, that's
Tamburo.
No, that's Shulo, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fran Shulo on the return, and Fran Shulo is brought down across the 20-yard line, make it the 25 to about the 26-yard line, where Walker makes the defensive play for the Blue Devils. Leechburg leads in this game 7-0.
If the Raiders needed a wake-up call, Jeremy Oliver just gave it to him.
Well, Jake Kappa showed that he was upset with the way the Raiders played the defense on that play.
He may have locked up that rushing title too, Bob Oliver, with that 86-yard run.
Very well could have. Here are the Raiders trying to get even, and they give us to Heekins. Heekins finds a hole off the right side, escapes a couple of tackles, but the guy who did trip him was Scott Steele. And a fellow injured on the play for the Raiders, getting up slowly off the ball, Zach Zrimsik. Also there was Everett LeSueur. Gain of about 9 on the play to the 35, so it's 2nd and 1. Second down and a yard to go here. Bonarotti out here to the left side. And the give to Heekins up the middle for the first down. Tackled on the play by Ed Paul, among others. And they'll mark the football at about the 39, a gain of about 4. Watch on the replay. He just runs into Pinto. I think the guy who actually made the tackle was Mike Gallucci. Laying on his back, just reached up and held on. Slowed him down enough that the balance of the tacklers could bring him down. But it is a first down at the 39. Sun shining now as the Raiders look into the sun heading south. Bonarotti lines up this time to the right side. 1st and 10. And on the trap, no gain on this play. I think it was Eakins. Eakins on this carry.
Pete Pinto came in, Bob, and was there.
It was Fritz Tamburo who ran the football, losing about a yard on the play. Watch it again. Blocking breaks down. In fact, you see the defender pushing and shoving his blocker off. 2nd and 11 coming up back at the 38. Ertlejack lined up to the right side. Bonarotti here to the left. And here's the delay give to Tamburo, and he is going to be sacked. What a play by Ed Paul. Ed Paul grabbed him and just dragged him down, losing back to the 30. Well, no, look at this.
Well, forward progress.
Right.
Yeah, they got him up to the 39.
But where the play culminated, watch it here as he just grabs on. There's forward progress, boom, right there. And boom, down he goes. Upper body strength, Joe.
I think a couple of these guys are on the wrestling team, Bob, for Leechburg. The way they're throwing people around.
They're on all the teams,
I think.
One season blends into another. Yeah. Belisario looking for Bonarotti. I'm sorry, it's Ertlejack. And just off of his fingertips, that catch would have been out of bounds down at the Leechburg 25-yard line as he outraced Mark Diller on that play, and the punting team is on. Taking a good look at your kitchen lately? Well, it's one place for sure that you do work in every day. And if it's not up to par, give Marino Construction of Oakmont a call. Marino Construction specializes in custom kitchens, and they plan the job to fit your budget. Professional work every step of the way for all construction jobs, not only kitchens, but bathrooms, room additions, and more. Quality work, service, and integrity since 1960. Marino Construction of Allegheny River Boulevard in Oakmont. Call them at 828-2662. No return on the punt. It goes dead near the 20. And the Leechburg Blue Devils will put it in play. Tail end of the opening quarter. Leechburg leading in the game by a 7-0 score.
A little under a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter, and it's been, well, pretty much Leechburg the story here, as Oliver went 86 yards for a touchdown, and that's the difference in the ball game.
And the other thing, Joe, is that this Leechburg defense has been up to the task this afternoon. That's for sure.
Well, they certainly are playing like a team that wants to get into the playoffs. They have to win and hope for a Duquesne win over Clairton.
So Leechburg at their own 20, first down and 10, leading in the game 7-0. Quarterback is Bob Osk. And he gives to Oliver, finds a little bit of a hole, and Zach Zrimsik, among others, including T.J. Skillen, are there to make the tackle. Also up off the bottom of the pile, Orlando Belisario and Khalil Ciora. So a gain of about 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Bruce and I disagree.
Hey, what's a yard among friends? How about it?
6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? Out of the eye, penalty flags, and that could have been a bobbled snap. I'm not sure. We'll have to take another look at the play.
You and Bruce both are high-priced talent anyway, Bob, so it doesn't matter.
You know, I thought Bruce volunteered for this job. 5 yards against the Blue Devils, and it'll be 2nd and about 14. The football is at the 17-yard line. Osk has the team in the eye. Shifting out of the eye is Frank Evans. It goes to Oliver. There's another flag. And he's still trying to break tackles. And finally, Oliver,
well, I'll tell you what, this
is
kid
brought
can
down
run
at about the 31-yard line. And the tackle made by Orlando Belisario. But again, a penalty flag thrown on the play. And another 5 yards to be tacked on here. I didn't see who moved. And
I think it's definitely going against Leechburg.
I just see if we can run it back. It was tough to see who moved. Watch it again. Where? I still didn't see anybody move on that play.
What are you trying to be, a Dan Deerdorf now?
Well,
2nd and 19.
2nd down, 19 after the 5-yard march off. Leechburg back at their own 11. And that is the end of the first quarter. Everybody in Oakmont knows it's the end of something with that horn, I'm telling you. So we have played one, and it's 7-0, Leechburg in the lead. From Riverside Park at Oakmont, football continues in a moment. Well, I can't tell you why, unless the clock should not have been running, but they're going to get one more playoff officially here before the end of the quarter, even though the horn sounded. Evans in motion. And the give goes to Oliver.
Oh.
And what a crushing, oh boy. Now that was a late charge, it appeared, by the Raiders' Rich Walsh.
Yeah, well, some officials might have thrown the flag on that play, yep.
So there's no gain on the play. In fact, if anything, a 1-yard loss to make it officially now 20 yards to go as the quarter has officially come to an end. Joe, look at the yardage disparage in that first quarter.
Yeah, it's been all Leechburg. 96 total yards for Leechburg and 41 for Riverview. And, of course, 86 of those 96 came on the one play when Jeremy Oliver scampered 86 yards for the touchdown. And the Blue Devils leading 7-0 here at the end of one. A little bit of a surprise. If the Raiders needed a wake-up call, well, they should have gotten it by now.
Some of Burrell's students are here today. You see the Blue Jackets. Their team played Friday night. And I still love, Joe, Saturday afternoon football.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take another look at that run by Jeremy Oliver of 86 yards.
Watch
look
the
at
way
the
tackles that he breaks. 1, 2.
And he just never gave up.
He just never gave up.
And number 34 on the chase there, but Tamburo's not going to get him at all. He's halfway home there. Cruising. He's got the afterburners on now.
He runs faster than I drive.
Anybody runs faster than you drive.
Thank you very much. All right, here we go. Second quarter about to get underway. Leechburg 7, Riverview nothing. So it'll be third down and long, and I do mean long. And they split Jonathan Solier out wide here to the near side of the field. And they hand it off and going nowhere off the right side. I think there's a fumble there. Here it is. And the Raiders have it. Riverview has recovered a fumble. I think it was Justin Dujak at about the 7-yard line. So the Raiders get a break here as Leechburg fumbles at their own 7.
As soon as I saw the official toss that little marker, you knew that ball was loose, Joe.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Our cameraman right at the line of scrimmage, huh?
Full house side, ready to go. Here's a handoff, and tripped up. Tripped up by number 11 there. I think Pete Pinto made the stop, and maybe a gain of 1, maybe. Second down and goal. The ball at the 6-yard line.
Whoever the other player was, I think, actually tripped him ahead.
All right, ready to go once again. This time split backs as Jack in the slot. They give to Heekins. Heekins off the right side, driving, and touchdown! And Heekins gets into the end zone for the score, and the Raiders get on the board. So the Raiders convert that turnover and get into the end zone, and the extra point try coming up here to tie the ball game. 7-6, Leechburg by 1 here as the Raiders get set for the extra point try with Jack holding. Belisario on the kick. Snap, the kick is up, the kick is good, and we've got a tie ball game, 7-7, and we'll be back with more high school football right after this. All right, we're ready to go, and we just ran back that touchdown by Heekins, and maybe his knee hit the ground a little bit before he got into the end zone, but they're not going to take it back, that's for sure. It's 7-7. Here is Belisario's kick. Long kick all the way down to the 2-yard line. Taken down there up to the 10, 15, 20, and down at about the 22-yard line. Bill Doherty.
Well, it was
Anderson made the stop.
This is the touchdown. Watch the knees of Heekins before he puts the ball over. Ready, set, down. There. He was down before he went in.
All right, Leechburg with the ball now. They have it at their own 23-yard line. 1st and 10. Tie ball game here in the second quarter. And a sideline pass is caught. Or is it? Yep, it is caught. But very little gain, if any. Scott Steele. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
You can hear Jake Kappa with our field mic watching, reminding the players to watch something. I don't know what he was trying to get across, but.
All right, ready to go, and they were in the eye. They shift out. Osk hands off the right side. There's a flag. That's generally a holding call at that area. Grimsack made the stop on Jeremy Oliver, but there is a flag on the play, and generally that'll indicate holding. And there it is, a holding call against the Blue Devils. It'll cost them 10. So they'll move the ball back from the 21-yard line down to just beyond the 10. So it's at about the 10.5-yard line. So the Blue Devils.
Did you catch the hold on the replay?
The Blue Devils now have got a long way to go. They've got 2nd down and about 23, 24 yards to go. The ball is spotted at just outside the 10-yard line.
At Riverside Park.
All right, set to go. Bob Osk, the quarterback. And he goes off the right side. I don't know whether that was a busted play or not, but whatever. It got very little. Ertlejack over there on the stop, so they'll pick up a few yards, and it brings up 3rd and about 17, 18 yards to go.
Tell them to watch something play.
Jake is close to our field mic down there, and maybe you can pick it up. All right, ready to go. 3rd down and long, real long. Osk looks. Osk looking. Way down. Might be intercepted. Nope, a little bit too far for Belisario, who had good coverage on that play and intended for Scott Steele. So an incomplete pass will bring up 4th down, and the Raiders should have good field position here.
Well, I'll tell you what, good coverage by
Belisario.
Yeah.
All right, here we go now as the Raiders with Ertlejack and Fritz Tamburo back to receive the punt. Bob Osk standing at his own 1-yard line. High snap. Oh, it goes over his head. He picks it up, kicks it, and it's going to be a short kick. Bounces at about the 15, rolls to the 24-yard line, and Bob Osk did all he could to save a safety, but the Raiders good field position at the 24-yard line of Leechburg. So another break for the Raiders. They got one a few moments ago. They converted the fumble into a touchdown, and right now a high snap and a short punt gives the Raiders the football at the 24-yard line of Leechburg. Here is a handoff to Heekins, and he's hit immediately. Pete Pinto led the charge for the Blue Devils, along with number 71, Joe Nowakowski. So they'll spot it near the line of scrimmage. Well, let's give them a yard anyway. 2nd down and 9. So the Raiders with another break here following that high snap, which got a real bad punt. And here is Belisario on the keeper. He's going, still going, all the way down to about the 11-yard line, but there is a flag on the play, and that's going to be a procedure call against the Raiders, so they'll bring that run back So Bellisario's good gain here is going to be nullified by a penalty. So they'll bring it back.
Take a look at the replay. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see
right
the movement
before.
there. Yep. So they'll bring it back, and it'll cost them 5. The ball is going to be spotted back at the 29-yard line.
You know, as many mistakes as they have made, and the worst it is 7-7.
Tie game, yeah.
Now, the yardage story in the second quarter is going to be a lot different than the first quarter. Although the touchdown happened on a turnover.
They didn't gain too much yardage. They got the fumble, on the 7-yard line, I think. All right, they're in the I formation. Bellisario fakes the handoff, looks. Now he's going to run, still going, and he's going to be dropped. Pete Pinto was there along with number 71, Joe Nowakowski, and it looked as though Bellisario had some running room, but boy, it closed in a hurry. And down he goes at the 27-yard line. So it's 3rd down and about 12 or 13 yards to go.
I don't hear high school quarterbacks complain like the pros, the way they get hit.
Well, they don't, Here, these kids play for the love of the game, and the pros, they play for money, and everybody wants to protect their dollar. 3rd down and long. Bellisario split backs this time. Back he goes. Looks, throws, and it's complete to Earl Jack. Still on his feet, and he gets down to about the 1-yard line. Well, let's make it the 6-yard line.
My goodness.
At the 6-yard line, 1st and goal for the Raiders. Had he been able to maintain his balance, Bob, he would have gotten into the end zone. Scott Steele was there to make the stop. So 1st and goal, Riverview at the Leechburg 6-yard line. Tamburo and Heekins, split backs. Bellisario bark signals. Heekins has it. No, keeper, Bellisario. And he's going to get inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. And a couple of the boys on the verge of losing their temper. So they get the ball down to about the 3. 2nd down and goal. Just outside the 3-yard line, maybe closer to the 4. Play coming in from the bench as Fritz Tamburo brings it in. Bellisario gets his team up to the line of scrimmage, ready to go. Here is a handoff to Heekins. Touchdown, Heekins. So the Raiders, on their second break here in the second quarter, are able to get into the end zone with Heekins going from about 4 yards out. And with 5:34 remaining in the second quarter, the Raiders finally take the lead, 13-7, as Bellisario now will attempt the extra point. Hurdle Jack will hold. Good snap. Kick is up. The kick is good. So the Raiders have finally taken the lead, 14-7, and we'll be back with more high school football right after this.
How about that, Joe? We could qualify for the Weather Channel with a shot like that. It's not as bad as it looks, folks.
No, it sure isn't.
And Riverview's in the lead.
14-7, and the ball just blown off the tee, or fell off, whichever. But with 5:34 remaining in the second quarter, the Raiders have finally taken the lead, 14-7. Hurdle Jack getting, I should say, Bellisario getting set to kick. There's the kick, and this is another long kick down to about the 5-yard line. Taken down there, and coming up. Oh, what a hit! And down he goes.
I thought it was 31 that really hit him hard first. I don't know, unless it was 21. Watch the replay on the break. Oh, no, that was 50. That must have been Steve Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell, okay. All right, here we go. Leechburg with the ball. They have it at their own 29-yard line. 1st and 10. Osk on the keeper and a flag on the play.
Well, you think this was the first game of the season, the way they can't time coming off the ball. How many penalties in the first half? 8 penalties altogether. 5 on Leechburg.
Penalty.
5 on Leechburg. And there's movement. Yeah. Are you saying that that was the center? You know what? Maybe that penalty should not have been called.
Why?
Because the center is allowed to be the first one to move.
But you got to center the ball. You can't run without getting rid of the ball.
Well, can you save that play? We'll take another look.
All right, here we go. It's
the debate goes
1st and 15. And, well, a long count is going to cost, I think, Riverview 5 this time.
Let's take. This is the first time we've ever taken a look at penalties back-to-back on a replay.
And this is turning into a pretty sloppy situation here.
Now that's 9 penalties in the first half.
And 2 teams that are, you know, getting themselves ready to get into the playoffs.
All right, here's the first one, Joe.
Certainly is in.
No, that's the second one. Okay.
Well, that one was no doubt about that one. That was a penalty.
All right, now let's take a look at the other offside.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Yeah, he centered it. There's nothing wrong with that.
And a personal foul against the Raiders.
I wonder what happened there.
Well, the unsportsmanlike penalty is going to cost them 15. They bring the ball all the way up to the 44, where Leechburg will have it 1st and 10 with 4:50 remaining in the first half.
So that's 3 consecutive penalties and 10 in the first half.
Handoff right up the middle. That's Oliver, and down he goes. 74 led the defensive charge. That's Justin Papa. Rich Walsh also there. So they'll gain maybe 2 yards. 2nd down and 8. Justin Dujak also helping out. 2nd down and 8. The ball just across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Leechburg in possession. We've got a 14-7 ball game with the Raiders on top. Osk sends a man in motion. The handoff off the right side. And still going. And finally making a touchdown saving tackle over there was, I think, number 15, Dujak, and Frank Evans. Got the first down at about the 37.
It's a fake to the first man through, and then Osk keeps the football and then pitches over to Frank Evans. We won't watch the replay?
All right, here we go. The Blue Devils on the move here at the Raider 37-yard line. Handoff to Oliver right up the middle, and he goes nowhere.
There was a loose ball, by the way.
He was stopped, and I mean stopped cold.
I don't know if we can.
Fumble, and yes, the Raiders have recovered. How about that? Now the flag goes up, and this will, this will be a 15-yarder. This will cost somebody 15 for unsportsmanlike.
That's 11 penalties in the first half.
Yep, there it is. So they'll march off 15 yards. So the Raiders recover a fumble, which someone on the Leechburg side didn't particularly care for. They muttered something. The referee was too close. He heard it and marched off 15 yards.
Some of the fans sporting signs that claim Riverside Park as the home of the Raiders, which it is obviously, but the conference champions for 1995 and another championship for Jake Kappa.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. 3.5 minutes remaining in the half. Handoff. And that looked like Ertlejack, I believe. So Ertlejack on the carry. He gets across the 45 to the 44. Bill Doherty there to make the stop for Leechburg. 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 44. Clock is moving. 2:55 remaining in the half. And the sun comes out. Belisario ready. And and the ball carrier just slipped. I think that was Heekins. No, it wasn't. That was Ertlejack.
See, we can see what happened. If anything, did he stumble on somebody?
He wasn't touched. He just slipped. So they'll bring it back to about the 40. Yeah. 46-yard line is where they'll spot it. 2 minutes plus remaining in the half. Belisario on the draw. And there goes Tamburo. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20, the 10. Tamburo touchdown. How about that? So Tamburo goes 46 yards and gets into the end zone for the score.
Well, Leechburg scored first in the game, and we kind of thought maybe they were really going to make a game out of this thing, but now the Raiders have scored the last 3. I thought that the last man right here coming at the right of the screen would have a shot at him.
Well, actually,
Jonathan Sawyer, but didn't make a play on him.
Belisario getting set for the extra point. Good snap. Kick is up. The kick is wide right. No good. So the score remains at 20-0, and all 3 Riverview touchdowns came after a break. The first one came when they recovered a fumble at the 7-yard line. They scored. They had a high snap that almost went out of the end line, but recovered, punted with a short punt at the 23 or 24. They took that one in. This time they recovered another fumble, got a 15-yard penalty, and then Tamburo picked up the necessary 46 yards for the 3rd Raider touchdown.
Let's take a look at the standings in the Eastern A if we can at this point. And these will include, by the way, games played on Friday night as we wait for the kickoff here at Riverside Park. It's a 20-0 game. Turnovers in the ball game. Leechburg with 2, the Raiders with 0. But Riverview in the conference with Clarendon a game behind, and they're in. Although if, as we mentioned, if Leechburg could win today and Clarendon lose to Duquesne, then Leechburg, of course, would be at 5-2, and they would be in the playoffs.
All right, here's Belisario with the kick. High kick. It's going to be taken by Reed at about the 7-yard line. He's at the 10, the 15, the 20, and he's going to be hit and dropped by Jason Anderson at about the 25-yard line is where they'll spot it. So the Raiders have put Leechburg back now at their 25-yard line, where the Blue Devils will put it in play with 1:50 remaining in the first half.
And I see limping over there, by the way, is Matt Geppert coming off the side of the field. Good play by Anderson on that tackle.
They're in the shotgun now. Long pass, and it's going to be taken. Nice grab over there by Jonathan Solyar. He got it and got all the way up to about the 40. Let's see where they spot it. The 42 or 43-yard line. Make it the 42.
Lost his shoe.
And the clock stopped with the out-of-bounds play. So
I don't think it's. I think it's only stopped till he gets his shoe fixed. Till he, ties the shoe, then it's going to go. I don't know that he got out of bounds.
I thought he did.
He was? I'm sorry. Okay.
And Osk, and that one a little bit short. Incomplete. Intended for number 32, I think that was, or was that Steele? 22. Might have been Scott Steele. It was. And good coverage over there by Rich Walsh. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Clock shows 1:33.
And your interview at halftime will be coming up with Kristen Brown,
right,
the sports commentator of the Riverview Sports Network. She might be getting more notoriety.
There's a fumble picked up by Osk, looking, throwing, and it's complete. And he didn't get out of bounds, I don't think, or did he? Yes, he did. He got out of bounds at about the 42-yard line of Riverview, and the clock is stopped with 1:24 to go in the first half. Now they say he stepped out at about the 43-yard line. All right, here we go. Shotgun once again for Osk, looking, throwing over the middle, and it's caught. Caught by Steele, and he is going to be dropped at about the 29-yard line. On the coverage there was Fran Shulo. So the Blue Devils on the move here. They get the ball spotted at the 29-yard line.
And they stop the clock with a timeout.
So a timeout is called with 1:17 remaining in the half.
Good time to take a moment out and remind our viewing audience that the Riverview playoff game of next week will be carried on Comcast Cable Channel 3. And I believe the WPIAL regulates the kickoffs, and that'll be moved to 1:30 if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we'll find everything out Monday night, I think, is when the meeting is. And we'll find out Monday night late and have it on Channel 3 Tuesday morning.
And the Burl Bucks will be at home following their victory Friday night at Apollo Ridge, 33-7. Quarterback Kevin Horwath with a school record 19 completions out of 23 attempts. So he had himself a pretty good night, Joe. And of course, he was named our PNC Bank MVP.
Right.
And we'll have a PNC Bank MVP named in this one as well.
And Burl, Bob, getting back to Burl for just a second, they may very well play the team that beat them 40-something to nothing in the opening round.
I think that's out.
I don't know about that.
Well, okay.
Well, you might know something I don't. You usually do.
I don't know.
Here's Osk running out of the pocket. He's being chased, looking, throwing, and knocked down in the end zone. Almost intercepted.
Belisario was there.
Right, and Steele was the intended receiver. He was in the end zone, but good coverage there by Fran Shulo and Belisario. It seemed like they had every black jersey on the field on that coverage. 1:08 left in the half.
Look at the replay. Tipped into the air.
Now, what is it that you know about Laurel not playing Burl that I don't know?
What were the possibilities again? They didn't make the playoffs. Aliquippa replaced them, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's what I know.
That's a perfect reason. Oh, bad snap. Osk will pick it up, and down he goes. What a hit there by number 64, Calio Giora. And the clock is moving. We're down 50 seconds and counting. Well, Leechburg looked there for a moment, Bob, that they was threatening to maybe get something on the board. Ball at the 49-yard line. The clock is moving. We're approaching 30 seconds. Here's Osk looking. Throwing long pass. It might be intercepted, and good play over there by Ertlejack. Knocked it down inside the 25-yard line. So the clock is stopped with 26 seconds. Scott Steele again, the intended receiver. We've got 26 seconds left, and it's 4th down. So maybe this could very well be the last play of the half. Blue Devils out of the huddle and ready to go for what could be the last play of the first half. Osk Makes a handoff, looks, throws. They got a screen set up. And, well, it got nowhere. Frank Evans took the pass, and then Rich Walsh put the stop on him with what, 15 seconds remaining? 15 seconds remaining in the half. Riverview will have the football at their own 45. All right, we'll be back right after this. All right, here we go. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. And they may try for a long one. No, they don't. They try the draw at Tamburo. Tamburo breaks one tackle, still on his feet. Flags all over the place. He's run out of bounds. 6 seconds remaining. And let's see what happened. Couple of flags. One at the 45, another one at the 40.
This has got to be like 13 or 14 penalties in the first half. My.
Clipping against the Raiders.
How about the second flag? Let's see if we can catch the clip here. It'll happen on the near side, by the way, up near the Leechburg 45. Okay, let's see.
So they'll march off 15 and
pushed him from behind
at the 39-yard line. So maybe the Raiders might just take the snap here, Bob, and Belisario get on one knee and finish the first half with a 20-7 score in favor of the Raiders. Well, Erlajak's coming out wide.
First and 15.
Going to try a long one here. Last play of the first half. Possibility. Yep, that's what it is. There's Belisario, and it's going to be intercepted out of bounds as the buzzer ends the first half with a score. The Raiders 20, Leechburg 7.
Joe Falsetti will be going down to interview Kristen Brown, the Riverview High School sports reporter.
Here, right, the one on the right.
And that'll be coming up here as part of our halftime festivities. We'll be totaling up statistics and bringing you up to date on all that's happening here in this football game. We are at the half. It's a 20-7 score. Bring you up to date on scoring. Leechburg scored first with about 4 minutes to play in the opening period as Jeremy Oliver scampered 86 yards and Mike Reed added a kick after to make it a 7-0 Leechburg lead. Things seemed to hold up for a while, but early on in the second quarter, Heekin scored the first of his 2 touchdowns on a 7-yard scamper. Belisario added the extra point. It made it a 7-7 game. About 6 minutes later, Heekin scored again from about 4 yards out, and that made it a 14-7 game following the Belisario kick. And late in the second quarter, with about 2 minutes to play, Tamburo on a 46-yard run. And one of the, we'll take a look at that run here by Tamburo. As he takes the handoff, there's 2 and 3. That's the second and third tackles missed, still running to his right. And he outruns 2 people there. And there's a guy coming into the right-hand side who doesn't dive after him. He just follows him in. So that was the Tamburo run of 46 yards. And one of the odd things happened in the game today, and it was Belisario's kick after that went wide right. How in the world could that possibly happen? Belisario made a mistake today. So it's 20-7 at the half. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik here at Riverside Park in Oakmont. With a Burl Buck victory 33-7 Friday night at Apollo Ridge. That means Burl is in the playoffs as the home team, a conference champion. And once again, congratulations to young Tom Henderson, who has won 3 straight conference titles and has done a remarkable job at Burl High. And here again, Jake Kappa with his crew. They appear to be on their way to an undefeated regular season. And they're also the home team for next weekend And that game will be played, of course, Saturday afternoon. There are no lights here at Riverside Park. And the only thing I am not sure of is the start time, but generally speaking, the WPIAL calls the start times. There may be a request for an earlier start, but I kind of tend to think that this playoff game here at Riverview will be at 1:30 next weekend. But we'll see. The WPIAL committee will meet on Monday night at, I believe, 6 o'clock, and they'll go over everything, and sheets will be handed out. That is the pairings. And we'll find out for sure who Burrell will be playing and who Riverview will be playing. But Comcast will carry both of the teams next weekend, Burrell at home and Riverview at home, in the playoffs. So be tuned into Channel 3 next Friday night at 9 for the Burrell game, and then Saturday evening at 7 o'clock for the Riverview game. Both games will have a second replay. The Burrell game Saturday morning at 10, and the Riverview game Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Again, we're at the half. It's a 20-7 lead by the Riverview Raiders, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned. Back at Riverside Park in Oakmont, where the Raiders lead at the halfway mark of the game, 20-7, and the Riverview Raider band about to come onto the field. As we had mentioned just before the break, Riverview last weekend had clinched the home field berth for the first round of the playoffs, and the band now takes the field. Let's go down and enjoy the music.
We open our show today with a banjo and upon routine to the song Just Do It. Eddie Brady and senior Mike Cannon to Are You Lonesome Tonight? Disco. One of the top groups of this style was the Village People. They're gone but not forgotten. Hey, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. I think we've been able to gather the Village People together for an encore performance. Here they are now to perform their famous song, YMCA.
And that concludes our performance of the Riverview Marching Band. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik here at Riverside Park in Oakmont. And we are awaiting the arrival of Joe Falsetti to interview Kristen Brown here at the half. And I'll tell you what, until that arrival of Joe, I guess what we probably could do is take a look at our stats as presented by Jimmy G's Restaurant in Aspinwall. Find out why readers of Pittsburgh Magazine have voted Jimmy G's Restaurant as one of the most outstanding restaurants in Pittsburgh for 5 years running. In addition, Jimmy G's was recently presented with the Silver Service Award by Pittsburgh Magazine. It is truly a dining experience you won't forget. Jimmy G's Restaurant at 225 Commercial Avenue in Aspinwall. Let's take a look at our statistics here, and Mike Pavlik has the story.
Thanks, Bob. It's really a lot of fun following the Village people. It's kind of like following the Animal Act on the Sullivan Show. But the stats go this way. Leechburg and Riverview each had 5 first downs in the first half. The rushing totals slightly toward Riverview, 113 to 83. Bob Oss completed 6 out of 10, and Belisario was 1 for 4, 60 yards passing for Leechburg, and 21 for Riverview. And the net yards in the first half, 143 Leechburg, 134 Raiders. Turnovers, 2-1 Leechburg. Individually, Bob Oss, 6 out of 10, 60 yards. Jeremy Aller had 8 carries for 85. But the one big run he had, the touchdown of 86, so 7 carries minus 1 for the rest of them.
Number again.
Frank Evans, 1 carry, 17 yards. Receiving, Scott Steelcott, 2 for 14. Frank Evans, 2 for 31. And Jonathan Sawyer, 1 for 17. For the Raiders, Fritz Tamburo, 7 carries, 91 yards. That'll make some people in the truck happy. Damian Heekins, 7 carries, 26 yards. Fran Schulo carried it once for 2, and Belisario was 1 for 4 passing, 21 yards. Penalties a big story. The Raiders 6 penalties for 60 yards. Leechburg 6 penalties for 45 yards, and the Raiders lead at 20-7 at the half.
Okay, folks, our statistics at the half presented as a service of Jimmy G's Restaurant. They're located at 225 Commercial Avenue in Aspinwall. Joe Falsetti is standing by with Kristen Brown, and Kristen, a sophomore here at Riverview High. Joe, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Of course, you know who I am, but you don't know who this young lady is. Kristen Brown from Riverview High School, and I understand that sports broadcasting is your thing?
Yes, I love it.
When did you become interested in it?
Well, I've always been interested in sports broadcasting ever since I was a little kid. I was a little ham in front of the cameras, but I really love sports, and I love sportscasting.
Bob Tattern wanted me to remind you that neither of us are ready to retire just yet, so don't move too fast in your upcoming profession.
Okay, but I will, though. But I won't take your job, I promise.
Well, we hope not. Anyway, what really do you do with, I know that you're the voice of the Raiders, but just what does that all encompass?
Okay, well, I've been doing post-game interviews since last year, but I spot for the Raiders during the game, and I announce the lineups before the game and do all the pregame.
You know, I was just thinking whenever I decided to come down and do an interview with you that of all of the ladies that are in sports broadcasting, I don't know there are too many, if any, that do play-by-play. Have you ever thought of that?
I would love to do play-by-play. That's what I want to do when I get older. I'm going to go to college and hopefully be on ESPN someday.
Well, you're just a sophomore in high school. You got a couple of more years here, and you know what? From what I've seen of you and heard of you, I'm betting on you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Kristen Brown, sophomore here at Riverview High School, better known at Riverview as the voice of the Raiders. Thanks, Kristen.
All right, Joe, and thank you kindly. At the half, 20-7 is our score. And again, it's Riverview in the lead. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik at the half. We'll be ready to go with our third quarter kickoff coming up right after this. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and George Guido. How did I get George Guido? I beg your pardon, Mike Pavlik. See, I'm looking over here at Kevin Smith. Covering the ball game for, of course, the Valley News Dispatch, and I'm saying Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and George Guido. We're all sitting here together, and it's Mike Pavlik.
Somebody told me not too long ago, Bob, we were 11 years behind time anyway, so we're just trying to prove it.
We're in a time warp.
Did you hear what Kevin said?
No,
Don't worry about it. I grew up watching you guys.
Ball rolls off the tee as Leechburg is prepping here to kick off to Riverview to start our second half.
Nice crowd.
Here's the return team for the Raiders. Shulo wears number 24. And down the middle, it's Tamburo. On the far side to the left is Ertlejack. And the kick by Mike Reed, taken at about the 13-yard line by Tamburo. Tamburo across the 25 to about the 27 or 28-yard line. Tackle made by Matt Jagodrinsky. Matt Jagodrinsky. Now, if he ever gets to Hollywood, there's got to be a name change. Clint Eastwood's already taken. But Jago's a good one, isn't it?
How about Robert?
How about Rip Torn? There was that one taken.
Nice name.
Here we go for the Raiders. Busted play. Belisario. They're not in sync for some reason. I think Heekins was supposed to get the call.
Well, you know what? Actually, Bob, to be honest with you, I'm just, going back to that first half, and the 3 touchdowns that Riverview scored, they all came on breaks. 2 fumbles, a bad snap that caused a real bad punt.
Right, or short one anyway.
Right,
yeah.
Very short, and as it turns out, they turned those 3 turnovers into scores.
Now Heekins is coming off. Is his arm bothering him or what?
Oh yeah, something's wrong. Yep.
Tamburo going in, so it'll be Tamburo and Shulo at the same time.
Well, they could at least afford any more major injuries, this Riverview club.
No injury.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a contact lens? Okay.
Well, the way he runs, he doesn't have to see where he's going.
Here's a give to Ertlejack. Ertlejack from his right half position comes up to about the 30 and picks up another yard. So it's 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Boy, hasn't he been a blessing, though, Bob, coming, moving from Borough High School last year.
Heekins?
I'm talking about Heekins here at Riverview, and he'd have been an asset no matter what. But with Dapper going down at the beginning of the year, I'll tell you what, he has been a godsend, believe me.
3rd quarter just underway. Riverview in the lead 20-7. And Glover is centering today because of the injury to Zanella. Another fumble.
Another fumble. Boy.
Gee whiz.
Could be that their hands are cold or what?
They're going to punt the football away. Zrimsik onto the field now, and the punting team will boot it away on 4th and about 7. The ball recovered by the Raiders near the 30-yard line, and Coach Jake Kapp and his staff look on there. They got to be concerned to a degree here, but
they should. I'm sure they are, Bob. The score is in their favor, but they're not looking sharp at all. Not at all.
Back is Steele and Bill Doherty. Doherty to the near side, Steele to the far side, and Belisario boots it away. And it's Doherty at the 45, gets a block.
Oh, what a block he got there.
Escapes another tackler, but he's upset on the far side, and let's see who that was. It appeared to be Fran Shulo, number 24.
Yep, good tackle.
Here's the replay on the punt. Good block. And Shulo comes in and grabs him around the ankles, and that's it. That's the best place to get him. So Leechburg setting up shop at their own 46-yard line, early 3rd quarter now, and it's Riverview by 13. Leechburg can get back into it real quick, and they're going to rely on Jeremy, and Jeremy Oliver gets the call here. And he's stacked up after a short gain of about 2 yards. Justin Dujak spearheaded the defensive play here for Riverview on this carry that gets 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up. Jeremy Oliver gets the handoff from the quarterback. And Riverview's right side of the defensive line was there to make the play. Now the Blue Devils on 2nd and 8. Pinto, the left half. And Oliver at right half. Carries this one to about the 49. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Thanks, Rick.
Take a look at the give. Nothing fancy about the play. Who was that on the can't hear it, sorry. Justin Dujak was responsible for the tackle from the 49, 3rd down. And the sack is on. The sack is on and a penalty flag thrown. So Calio Sierra comes in to make the sack on quarterback Rob Osk, and a penalty flag thrown after the sack was made. And they'll decline it and go for, see if we can catch all of it right here.
This is what you call running down the quarterback.
So they're gonna take the
no, they turned it down.
Right, they're going to take the loss on the play, the quarterback sack, and it should bring up 4th down. I'm looking across at the stick. They're just now changing it to 4th and 13. Fourth and 13. And Bob Osk to punt the football away. Another bad snap. And Osk is going to hold on to it.
Loose
fumbles
ball.
The ball and recovered
And
by
Dujak.
Dujak. Has fallen on the football at about the 27-yard line. So another bad snap. They've had some bad exchanges today.
Well, if everything runs true to form, Bob, they should score. Every time there's a turnover, they score.
So the Raiders have good field position here at the 27. And for Leechburg across the way, it's turning into a long afternoon, I guess. They were kind of hoping to get something going in the first drive of the 3rd quarter, but here are the Raiders. It goes to Erdeljak. Erdeljak straight up the middle, down to about the 10-yard line. Picks up the 1st down. He picked up actually on that play about 17 yards. Here's Erdeljak. Straight up, and a good block made by number 73, Theo Qtrs. And finally dragged down by Jonathan Solier. Did you pick up another one, Joe? Bonarotti wide right, as is Fritz Tamburo. It's Heekins and Erdeljak, the 2 setbacks behind Belisario. And the keeper by Belisario around the left side, and he's brought down inside the 5-yard line, about at the 3. And making the tackle was Pinto. So it will be 2nd and about 3 at the 4. They got to get down to the 1. Of course, I know they're thinking beyond that, but there's the replay. Just a keeper by Belisario. This time Shulo and Bonarotti are wide right. And it's Heekins hit hard, and loose football picked up by Belisario for the touchdown. Loose football picked up by Orlando Belisario, and I believe that's his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Am I correct, Belisario? Did he score before? No, that's his 1st score. So there was a penalty flag thrown, if I'm not mistaken. No penalty flag. I think the official was throwing the marker as to where the ball will pop loose, and it is now 26-7, and they're going to go for 2 points. Heekins and Tamburo. Pitch to Tamburo, coming wide left. Penalty flag. He's in for the 2. This could be a holding call on the Raiders, and if it is, they might elect to go for the kick.
Yeah, where they threw the flag, that's what the indication is right there. Holding against the Raiders. And Coach Kappa is a little upset. I don't think he's upset at the official. He's upset at his team holding.
You know what? I think if the official was looking at where that play was culminating, that would have been on Ertlejack, but I don't know.
Now they're going to go for 1. I think it's a little bit too long to go for 2, Bob. They'll go for the extra point here with Belisario.
So it's still 26-7. And the kick will be from the 18. That'll be a 28-yard kick for the point after. Ertlejack holding for Belisario on the kick. High snap. And Ertlejack is going to hold on to the football. Fires into the end zone. Broken up. That ball skipped into the hands of Buonarroti. So it's incomplete. So it is still 26-7. We'll be back right after this. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik here at Riverside Park in Oakmont, and the ghost of George Guido hangs in tough. George, we're thinking of you.
Not only thinking of you, you've been mentioned on the air.
It's 26-7 as Leechburg sets up with Frank Evans, number 32. Down the middle is
Mike Reed.
I'm sorry, Mike Reed, number 35. And to the far side, Jeremy Oliver, number 44, rather, Ed Paul. And the ball bobbled, picked up at about the 8-yard line by Frank Evans, and a short return to about the 11 or 12-yard line. And the defensive play was made by Randy Pleasant, number 21. On the replay, the ball chased back to about the 8. And boy, that could have been a penalty right there. But there's the play made by Randy Pleasant. So from the 11, Bruce and I will agree this is a 1st and 10. Rob Osk, the quarterback, his team trailing 26-7. We've got to get back into this one real quick. Here's a give to Pinto. Pinto tries the left side, and the Raiders are there to close it up. Looked like Shulo, number 24, making the principal hit on the play with an assist by Kelly Ciora. If you watch the replay, there it is, Ciora, number 64, and number 24 also assisting on the play. 2nd down and 10. There was no gain on that play. It's spotted at the 11-yard line. We're in the 3rd quarter with the Raiders leading 26-7. And Osk is back. The screen is set up. They throw it here wide to the near side, and no gain again. The ball was caught by Frank Evans.
And a flag on the play.
Another penalty flag, and
Pass complete to Frank Evans.
Evans hit at the line of scrimmage, so if it's turned down, it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
It's against Leechburg.
Holding penalty against the Blue Devils.
I don't know, 5 yards if they take the penalty
turn it
because
down.
of half the distance, so I would assume they would turn it down and make it 3rd and 10. And there's the official signal. Coach Jake Keppa wraps up another championship here this year, and next Saturday they'll be here with somebody. We'll find out Monday night.
He's been on a roll, hasn't he?
Yep.
Oh, my. Has he ever?
By the way, when Joe and I do the show on Monday night, there's a chance that between 7 and 8 p.m. we might get some info on that.
Yeah, good idea.
Here is Oliver
There
shaking
goes
some
Oliver.
tacklers and picks up a first down at about the 23-yard line. Fran Shulo makes the tackle. And the ball is spotted at the 23, so it's a 1st and 10. A nice gain on that play of about 13 yards. A couple of missed tackles, but Shulo's there to finish up. First and 10 for the Blue Devils at their own 23.5-yard line. Osk is the quarterback, and this one goes to Oliver. Oliver, and penalty flags are thrown.
3 flags.
And they will unravel this one. Number 52 for the Blue Devils, Mike Gallucci.
And a few punches thrown down there. They ought to save some of those for the heavyweight fights that we've been seeing.
Qtrs, there's an ejection for Leechburg.
And I think Shulo's also been ejected.
Let's see what happens
24
here.
and 44. Yep.
Offsetting penalty.
Yep, there it is. Shulo is gone.
So 2 ejections. Shulo's gone for the Raiders, and Ed Paul is ejected for Leechburg. In the meantime, Bob, Jeremy Oliver is unofficially at 101 yards for the game. So,
And he had 86 in the first half on one run.
Right.
So they shut him down essentially after that. So Osk apparently is not at all happy, and we're talking about the Leechburg quarterback in your picture there, number 14. Nothing much he can do about it. So the ball will stay exactly where it is with offsetting penalties, but 2 ejections. So it is 2nd down and 11 coming up. We're in the 3rd quarter with Riverview in the lead, 26-7.
About 4.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Osk over center. And on the maybe a staggered call or whatever, it drew Theo Qtrs offside.
I don't know. He may have been drawn off. Oh boy. I think they are offside, but
I'm sorry, 2nd down and about 6. So 5 yards against the Raiders on that call. Scott Steele out here to the right side for the Blue Devils, I should say. Oliver gets the call. Zarimsic is there, among others. And still some shoving.
you know what? I'll tell you what. Those tempers out there, Bob, are just about as well. They're sizzling actually on the part of both teams, really.
We did have a score from the Duquesne-Clarendon game earlier, and Duquesne was in the lead, which would have meant that had Leechburg turned this game around, they'd be in the playoffs.
Of course, you know, it's not over yet.
Quick pass, penalty flag thrown. The ball is caught on the left side, dropped, and the Raiders might have it. It is Ertlejack, I believe, who fell on the football.
The official saw the 12th man out there, but he didn't call it, didn't throw the flag until the ball was snapped, and then he immediately threw it, and there is a flag. 12 men on the field for Leechburg.
That's right. There it is. Belisario coming up to make the tackle, and the ball pops loose. Dujak is there, and then it looked like 85 maybe, or 8. Well, hard to say. Penalty declined, and the Raiders have the ball.
They got the ball way back here at the 49-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Raiders with a closing minutes of this third quarter ticking away. 26-7 is the score. Riverview in the lead, and they have it at their own 49.
Well, it started out like it might be a pretty good afternoon for the Blue Devils as they scored first, led 7-0, but since then it's been all of the Raiders, and much of the damage has been done on the part of turnovers by Leechburg.
So here we go. 1st down 10. Belisario over center. And the give goes to Tamburo. Tamburo caught from behind. And the tackle was made by Frank Evans. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 on the replay. Straight ahead. And there was a block on Gary Walker, by the way, by the Raiders to get him out of the way, but Frank Evans was there. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. And here is Tamburo again, and they just push him ahead to the 1st down at the 40. Joe Nowakowski, the responsible man there, along with Mike Gallucci.
If I'm not mistaken, Bob, if I'm not mistaken, Mike's dad is a teacher at Burrell, but they live in Leechburg.
Bonarotti out wide left, strong side right. And they come here to the left side. And tackle made by Gary Walker on Tamburo. Also there was Tim Andraci. About 2 yards on the gain. 2nd and 8 coming up at the 38. How much time left, third quarter?
Minute 35.
Again, strong side right. Bonarotti to the left. Tamburo comes in motion. Here's a pitch to Ertlejack. Gets the block. And driven out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Tackle made again by Gary Walker. Ertlejack, who played such an integral part of the success of the Raiders last year as a sophomore, obviously looking forward to a senior year here at Riverview. But boy, I'll tell you, the numbers he's putting up as a sophomore and a junior that you don't always read, and I'm talking about those numbers of tackles and things like that, Joe, because he does play both ways. And how many times have we watched Ertlejack chase somebody down and stop a would-be touchdown and what have you, things that you may hear about but don't count in the statistics. Here's Bonarotti is open. Bonarotti,
he got him out there. He got him.
And he's into the end zone for the touchdown. Bonarotti makes the score now 32-7, and Bonarotti, beautifully thrown pass by Belisario, and the Raiders have scored again. Take another look at it. Belisario sets up. Boy, great blocking and perfectly thrown over the defender. Who was 35?
Yeah, that was Mike Reed.
So the Raiders will attempt the kick. Belisario will boot the football, and they're going for two. Beg your pardon.
With Western Beaver losing, there's a chance that Riverview could get the #1 seed.
Just so they don't get a bye, I want to work next Saturday.
I know.
Into the end zone to Ertlejack for 2.
You left part of that out, didn't you?
What's that?
I need the money.
I need the money. So Ertlejack catches the pass that gives them 2 more, and it's 34-7 near the end of the third quarter. I hear you. 34-7 here, late third quarter. Riverview in the lead and on their way to a 10-0 regular season. 3 of the victories, of course, exhibition, and here looking for their 7th conference win. Thank you. Rick Rosenberger, the one of the school officials here at Riverview, who always makes sure that we've got some soft drinks
and do enough for us.
Aaron Frank in the game for Riverview.
So Belisario will tee it up on the 40, and Leechburg trailing 34-7. We'll be running here left to right.
Matt Gibbons into the game for Riverview.
So here we go as Belisario boots, and taken by Evans at about the 15. And Evans
Carrying the ball.
across the 30-yard line.
Jason Anderson.
Anderson there, number 18. Let's see. 18 was Sycon, and TJ Skillen also there on the tackle. Randy Pleasant got bombed out of the way. Shotgun formation. And the tackle made by Theo Ficaris. That's a sack. Theo's been watching too much TV football. A good player. He's doing his rendition of the sack celebration.
Yeah, right.
9-yard loss on the play.
So a loss of about 7 or 8 yards. 2nd and 18 coming up. Scott Steele is here to the right side, split wide right. Jonathan Sawyer out to the left, and here is a pitch inside to Oliver. Oliver at the 35, and is spilled on the play by Dujak, who I think hurt himself.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
Dujak may have hurt his arm on that tackle. Ertlejack makes the final tackle, but up ahead of the play was Dujak to spill him off balance. So
Looked as though he tripped him up.
we have played 3, and the Raiders lead it by 34-7. We'll be right back.